Hello, my friends. Welcome back. A couple months ago, Enty Lawyer and I had a chit chat on his Patreon about the dastardly duo and their mountains of misinformation that they love to spew to the public. We touched on topics like Meghan's coat flicking and if the public deserved to know the truth about the validity of the Sussex children within the line of succession, and if Meghan Markle plays Jedi mind tricks with her emotionally stunted husband, who is also a moron. I know many of you don't like sitting through an entire chat, so I have taken down the original conversation and I am sharing clips instead for you to listen to. I hope you enjoy this one and let me know in the comments below if you would like more clips like this, and I will catch you in the next one, my friends. Thanks for tuning in, my lovelies. Stay gorgeous. Bye.
Especially some things that I don't normally talk about. And one of the things that I was fascinated on your Twitter is a video that I think that you compiled. Maybe you got it from somebody else, and I'm sure you can tell me. But and it's something I mentioned yesterday in the podcast in a Q&A, and that is about Meghan Markle's coat flick.
Mm-hmm.
And I I never really have thought about that before. Now, I have always been with a Beyonce, I 100% the first child it was, a surrogate. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
convinced because of the same prosthetic and bending of the, this kind of thing. And I have no opinion one way or the other on surrogate or anything like that with Meghan. I know you do, and so I'm going to let you talk about that. But the coat flick, no matter what, whether or not she was pregnant, it just it's just like, here I am, you got to see me pregnant.
Mm-hmm. It's like
And
she had to convince everyone that she's pregnant.
you must have had probably 12, maybe 13 little clips
Mhm.
of instances. And here's my other question. Did somebody say to her, hey, look, it's going to be much more dramatic if you're wearing a coat and can flick it? Because to me, if you want to show off that you're pregnant, just don't even wear the coat.
Mhm.
So
I
doesn't it feel like, hey, look, here, I'm going to show you what I got.
think it's crazy, right? Watching that, did you feel like you were one over the cuckoo's nest watching those clips together?
I felt like you could see her looking side-eyed at where
Hmm.
the camera is and
Yeah.
then figuring that out and then adjusting the angle. And then she would get frustrated if the coat didn't quite move enough to where she wanted it to be to get the best shot.
Or if she couldn't get it out of the way quick enough to get the shot, you would see her mask slip. I mean, I found the entire scenario bizarre because personally, myself, I was pregnant at the same time. So I was just comparing my own pregnancy and what I would be doing as a pregnant woman. I mean, I don't know if we can say that these days, but
Yes, you can.
as a pregnant woman, I was like, okay, when I was pregnant, I would like my maternal instincts jumped in and I would be pulling my sweater, say, over my bump to protect it. When I was out in public, like if I would go to a mall and if it was busy, I'd be pulling my jacket closer over my bump. It was just instinct to just protect it. Whereas this girl was constantly like pushing her coat over to the side. And I was just like, why? If you're actually pregnant, you don't need to constantly keep up with these dramatics of needing to do the coat flick or doing full squats when you claim you're 6 months pregnant and things like that. But I feel like just watching it was like crazy. And I just couldn't believe that this was going on in front of our eyes. And we were supposed to believe that Meghan Markle was pregnant. Now, the reason why she wore the coats is because back in December, she had visited a seniors facility and the December that she was pregnant. So it was December 2018. And she was wearing a very tight spring style dress in the winter. But you could see her bump had misshapen and became square. And you could see the straps that were digging in to her back. because she had taken her coat off and her dress was so tight. I don't know if it was to keep this bump in place, allegedly, or what it was, but you could literally see all the straps. And when she would constantly bend over, it was squished. Now, when I bent over, my pregnancy bump never squished or anything like that. It stayed rock hard, and I had to open my legs to basically bend over. But this girl was doing full squats with her knees to her breasts. And I was like, what is going on here? Does she think that we are all as stupid as Harry? Like, he may be the dimwit, but we are not dimwits. And I'm actually offended by her for thinking that we are all as dumb as he is. I don't know. Well, I
Now,
mean, go ahead.
well, on your Twitter,
Mhm.
so you told everybody that you're gonna come on, and then and a lot of people had suggestions for questions. I have this question for you based on all your subscribers, and just kind of, do you think that the majority of the people that subscribe to you subscribe to the idea that she did use a surrogate, or do they think that she was actually pregnant?
I think a lot of people subscribe to me because not only do I pick up on her BS, but I feel like I've been quite vocal after we had a lady in our community who went by the name of Yankee Wally. She was one of the first who basically pointed out that this pregnancy was a sham and that the royal family were going ahead with this sham, and they were basically well, not involved, but like they found out too late. And then what happened is that Meghan Markle had that Christopher Boozy guy just harass her relentlessly for like almost a year and a half straight, doxing her, calling the Met Police in the UK about her. And this is just a 65-year-old pensioner, old lady in Cardiff who just, was just had a YouTube channel, and she would talk to us because she was lonely. They had her YouTube channel completely nuked. She has not been able to start a YouTube channel after that. And then when they were harassing her, I myself was like, you know what? This isn't right. People should be able to know the truth about this. The UK citizens have a right to know if this girl lied about having a surrogate born child within the line of succession. It's not right. So that's why I started picking up on it myself and started being super vocal about it. I feel like I needed to carry Yankee Wally's legacy on in a way. I just had to keep the moon bump story going. And then when my YouTube channel had gotten demonetized for 3 months, because I had mentioned I would be conducting a test, an experimental educational test on prosthetic moon bumps and real pregnant women, my channel in less than 24 hours got nuked. So and then I was demonetized for 3 months. I was told I had to remove all my moon bump videos before my channel would get demonetized. I mean, back in good standing.
Yeah.
And I had done that, and it in less than 24 hours, my channel was back to normal after the 3 months. So I feel like a lot of people come to my channel because I've been vocal and I've been talking about this, and I won't let it die down. I will keep asking the questions because the people deserve to know what's going on with the line of succession.
I mean, they are in the line of succession,
They
and
are.
they're supposedly have to come out of your body to be in the line of succession.
Mhm. Those are the
I
rules.
I would argue, I don't, I would say that back in the day, it also had to be somebody that you were lawfully married to, and that didn't always happen.
Mhm.
Um, the Here's my thing about the kids, whether or not surrogate pregnancy, this is my issue with the kids, are as two things specifically. One of them that you bring up frequently that I 100% agree with, and that is there are never any car seats in their car.
Mhm. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, because to me, that's a big red flag. I mean, obviously, I know that they probably have more than one vehicle available to them.
Mhm.
However, I would think that no matter what, let's say they're going out on their own, the kids aren't there. But okay, that's fine. But if you look at somebody's video or picture of somebody who's got kids, even if you have two cars, you have car seats in there
Yeah.
because you don't want to keep taking them in, taking them out, moving from one car to the next. You always have the car seats in there.
Mm-hmm.
There has never been a picture of a car seat.
I mean, we even saw in their little Netflix special, Meghan had this child who we're allegedly supposed to think is artificial. I call him artificial because we don't know if this kid exists. Like, I don't know anything about him. So I call him artificial. So we see her in a vehicle, and the vehicle is clearly driving because you can see the leaves and stuff in the background are is very like it's in motion. And this kid is sitting in her lap, no seat belt, car is clearly in motion, and that's illegal. If you had a child with you in the car, you would have them in the car seat. That's why I don't
Yes.
believe that child that they filmed with that was sitting on Meghan's lap was their child, because I don't think she would ever put that paycheck in kind of danger, like, I mean, her baby in kind of danger like that.
I agree in the sense that 100% that it doesn't make any sense that she's doing that if she really, if you're so into security and so into keeping things safe. The only
Mm-hmm.
time, it has happened in Celebrityville before, like Britney Spears used to drive with her kid in the front seat with her all the time. And, she got tickets and stuff like that. I find it very, but she used to have car seats in the back seat too. Um, so that's like my big thing is that the no car seats. My other big thing is this, and I think that I've mentioned it to you before, or I mentioned it on a Royal Mass or something, is that let's take for example hanging out with Nacho and their kids,
Mm.
right? It feels like everywhere they go where there's kids involved, where it's there's going to be kids, they don't bring their kids. It's it's just normal. Like if you have two kids and you're going to somebody who's your one of your best friends and they're bringing their kids, and then when you arrive you're kissing their kids, it would
Oh,
seem
that's so
natural to me that you would bring your own kids.
that was so gross. As a parent, I felt so gross seeing those photos of, like, from backgrid, mind you, from backgrid, from between the bushes, you could see Harry and Meghan kissing Nacho's daughter like on the head. And I was just like, oh, that's disgusting. I'd be creeped out.
And then I would give it a pass on the time when they went with like Cameron Diaz and stuff, and they went to the premiere or whatever it was, and Cameron Diaz had her kid. I'll give that one a pass. But every other time, it feels like it's something that is going to be kid friendly, and
Mhm.
yet their kids are never there. How come you wouldn't want to introduce your kids to that? Here, and we're going to get to it later, but let's pretend Chrissy Teigen, right? Let's pretend Chrissy Teigen and they're going to meet out and they're going to go to the park or something. And Chrissy's going to bring her kids because kids like to go to parks.
Yeah.
Meghan won't bring theirs.
No. She's a
It,
narcissist, though, too. She doesn't want the children to take the attention away from her.
yeah, I just feel like it has nothing to do with security. And I think that you're right. I think that if the kids are there, then all the focus and all the pictures are going to be, and the headlines are going to be first pictures of whatever. And it's going to be focused in on them, zeroed in on them, and it's not going to be on Meghan.
Yeah. I think it's that. And also, personally, myself, I think she also uses the kids to kind of mind fuck with Harry. I think she uses them like, oh, they're going to be in so much danger. I mean, do you remember that scene in their Netflix special where she was pretending to cry and she was like, you're writing these and it's making me scared. You're making me scared. And I'm going around the house and checking the doors and like pretend crying. And I'm like, I can see how this guy was taken for a complete fool. I think she completely, because we know he is an emotionally stunted idiot who clearly has mommy issues, I feel like she uses that against him all the time. And with the kids, she'll probably say, "Oh, well, what if we go out and we get chased by paparazzi and something happens?" Because we know Meghan wants to get chased. She wants that Diana connection where she's being chased, and that screws with Harry. That's what, at least what I think.